All right, guys, just kind of getting everything set up right now. Trying to get the Discord notifications sent out. So let me do that. We'll go ahead and get the show on the road. You guys can hear me okay? Let me know. Need to make sure. Okay, and live streams. I need to make a couple of videos today. So, a lot of work to do. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and send it out to another. So I'm going to be, okay, we're going to go ahead and pull this up. So I'm going to pull this. We're going to pull up the New York Times. We have live updates coming on, and then we're also going to pull up the Global Times. Okay. All right. We're set up. So how are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing? Essentially, yesterday I stayed up literally all night watching Pelosi's plane land in Taiwan, and I believe she's about to leave. Today, but the thing is that she's, I don't know, they always said that like we're not worried about her getting there, we're worried about her leaving. So it's a very, very tense situation happening right now. So we see, yep, Nancy Pelosi departs Taiwan after visit criticized by China. Let me see. G7 leaders express concern over new China military drills around Taiwan. Chinese officials accuse the United States of dirty tricks. And Iran, Syria join list of countries condemning controversial visits. Pelosi said she felt inspired after meeting with Taiwan civil society leaders on human rights. And Pelosi defies China during meeting with Taiwanese president. We will not abandon our commitment. And then Pelosi thanks Taiwanese president for civilian award as she departs from Taiwan. And then China foreign minister responds to Pelosi's Taiwan visit. Those who offend China will be punished. Oh no. Yeah, this is foreign minister Wang Yi, who's been pretty critical to Xi Jinping's foreign policy. Yeah, she already left. She's in South Korea. Yeah, I assumed so. Slept in a little bit today. So news about Power and Revolution. If I had any news, you guys would know about it. I would be posting about it. I always post about it whenever I have news. Only news that I have right now is that there is an update coming out at the end of this month. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out so you guys can see. So we're going to share screen. Entire screen. So that way you guys aren't bored and just staring at my beautiful icon. So this is the Global Times. This is the CCP run. Um, this is the CCP run website in which you can get a pretty good sense of what the Chinese are thinking. Pelosi had to leave early because China surrounded the island, is what I'm hearing. Let's pull up Twitter to see what's going on Twitter. The PLA has announced 6 exercise areas around the island, the closest being only 9 nautical miles from the island, and the waterways of Taiwan's main ports will be blocked during the straits. This is what Pelosi's visit has brought to Taiwan. That is according to China State Global Times commentator on Twitter. The waterways of Taiwan's main ports will be blocked. So is this essentially some sort of blockade that they're doing? So only the fish in the sea are hurt. So what are you guys' thoughts on it? Do you think it was amazing that they're doing this? Do you think, or do you side with China? Do you side with Taiwan? Someone said, please go ahead. 3 American aircraft carriers are in the region. There's an echo in your voice. Crap. There's an echo in your voice. Are you kidding me? Freaking hate that, man. Does that sound better? Freaking hate that, man. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Man, I've been speaking for like 8 minutes and someone had to wait to tell me? Come on. Okay. Pelosi changes status quo of Taiwan Straits with provocative visit exposes U.S. long-term miscalculation. They're probably saying that the United States miscalculated, and they literally are being like quote forced into reunification by force because they always said that they wanted to do it like peacefully by making an agreement with Taiwan to reunify, but now they're saying that they're going to be doing it by force. So that's complete and utter bullshit, man. So we're basically, and we are out of this election day that was yesterday, the big primary day. Is that Maximo? Let me look. Yeah. So I'm gonna look up Taiwan. Your Schizo News Network. Oh, that was a funny post. 27 Chinese military aircraft entered surrounding area of Taiwan. Looks like Pelosi gains the upper hand by visiting Taiwan. The U.S. will lose its advantages after this, says the Global Times. And they're going to get shot after saying that. And the G7 says no justification for China's aggressive military drills in the Taiwan Strait. That's the thing that sucks about the G7 because now that Russia's out of the G7, it's basically like a Western circle jerk. um, that's the thing that sucks about the G7 now. Like there's no other voice, i.e., Russia. It's literally just a Western circle jerk. Like y'all agree? Y'all agree? Yeah, yeah. We agree. Air defense zone, not really airspace. Russia and China, according to sources I read on Watch, they're planning or seeming to be planning a new petrodollar. Oh God. Yeah, but they probably have to if they probably have to if they're going to go to war with the United States because they have to they're too interconnected to the global financial system because once all of that gets cut off, like they they won't have any sort of it's going to be very complicated and they won't have any sort of a way to make money even if they're trading with each other because all of it is completely connected to the dollar. Argentina and Iran may be in the mix of BRICS soon. Where'd you hear that? Why is Pelosi in Taiwan? Chinese communists have been threatening us for decades. They've been threatening us since I was 9 years old. I am 86 now. Is what one citizen of Taiwan said. The Chinese Coast Guard fleet entered the Taiwan Strait near Guangzhou and Fujian. Yeah, let me look up some ship tracker. Maritime traffic. I need to look it up. South Korea. I want to see what kind of a Chinese Coast Guard. Wonder if I can filter this by Coast Guard. Features, areas of interest, show vessel names. Check the course over the next 30 minutes. God bless America. Yes, absolutely, and God bless Taiwan. PLA drills around Taiwan continue to rehearse for unification operation amid Pelosi's visit. There's a J-20. Joint military exercises around the island of Taiwan by the Chinese People's Liberation Army continued Wednesday with the joint blockade, sea assault, and land and air trainings, including the use of advanced weapons, including J-20 stealth fighters and DF-17 hypersonic missiles around the drills. Started on Tuesday when U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi landed on the island, which seriously violates China's sovereignty. The exercises are unprecedented as the PLA conventional missiles are expected to fly over the island of Taiwan for the first time, and the PLA forces will enter the area within 12 nautical miles of the island, and that the so called median line will cease to exist. Experts said, noting that by surrounding Taiwan entirely, the PLA is completely blockading the island, demonstrating the Chinese mainland's absolute control over the Taiwan question. Yeah, just say that, and then we're going to sail a couple of carriers to the Taiwan Strait. If Biden doesn't do that, because they're testing what the United States is going to do. They're going to test to see if Biden is willing to do exactly what we did in the 90s. And that's what needs to happen. But I feel like he's going to wait to show American force. I feel like he's going to wait to show American force until, China really starts to do something that basically does threaten the national security of Taiwan. So let me also look at flights tracker. Let me see what the airspace over Taiwan looks like. Holy shit, it's pretty empty. The Strait's pretty empty. There's literally like the areas in which China is declaring the exercise areas. They are pretty empty. Wow, that's crazy. You can see these planes like actually making like really weird tracks. They're turning really sharply to kind of go around something. Like I'm looking at this one plane right here. It's a Cathay Pacific cargo from Anchorage to Hong Kong. And literally at the southernmost tip of Taiwan, it just takes this really sharp turn. There's another plane that kind of like it swung straight around. Um, it swung straight around this area. So let me look. So it's nighttime. So I don't. Chinese might be doing some nighttime operations. We don't know. So I haven't seen anything about the Chinese Coast Guard. Iran applies to join BRICS. And then could Argentina join the BRICS? China invited Argentina to join the latest summit. Costa Rica relation, the current member suggests that BRICS remains a distant dream. So Iran applied for it, but Argentina is considering applying, but it's not exactly like the most it's not the most viable application. She countered by doing military exercise in Chinese airspace, as it seems perfectly fine to do so to join its standards. We just need to do what we did back in the '90s and sail a couple of carriers through that strait. They say it's their territory. Let's sail a couple of carriers through the strait. Doesn't matter. Let them attack us. Trump are still thousands of American sailors and dozens of ships would be into Taiwan shooting warning shots. Yeah, probably. We got a zigzag and a straight. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if Trump was president right now, he would be sending a very, very, very strong message. I really don't like that Biden is waiting on this. If I was president, I would be saying, okay, let's uh let's sail through the Taiwan Strait. I'd be ordering the military to do that. Trump would have been doing that too. So let me China signals plan to launch missiles over Taiwan in a dramatic, troubling escalation. China issues alert warning airlines to avoid airspace near Taiwan as Pelosi visits Taipei. And then there's an op-ed that she made. BRICS a counter to NATO? No, not really. The CSTO is a counter to NATO, and the SCO is a counter to NATO. Here's a Taiwan chill pill for your Pelosi-induced anxiety. Feel traveling to Taiwan is one of the few based Pelosi moments. Yeah, I never really knew that about Pelosi. That Pelosi was such a strong voice against communist China. I never knew that about her. CNN never talked about it, and then Fox obviously never talked about it. But I think that is one of the best things that I think makes me respect Pelosi a lot more than I did before. And again, her husband is up to some weird stuff, and I think that's shitty. That should be looked at. But but promoting, I mean, she's been consistently like this since she's been in office. She's always been a China hawk. And
once she's gone, I mean, she's like, we're not gonna have anyone like that again. I mean, no one has exactly been this adamant about China, so that's going to be a big loss for Congress because she was supposed to retire this year, but now she's just like, haha, psych. PG China is in no position to attack. If you know about the banks stopping withdrawals and people not paying mortgages, you would probably agree. Well, no, that's the thing is that banks stopping withdrawals and people not paying mortgages, it would put their mind to something else. That's all. It's basically like America on steroids, where oh, you get approval. Um, you need to start a war or something like that. It's basically that's basically how you um get. God, I cannot think right now. Anyway, my point is that whenever you um why am I having such a hard time thinking right now? Really struggling why Biden didn't fully commit to backing her going to Taiwan. Understand Pentagon officials saying it's not safe, but you'd think he'd back her no matter the situation. Yeah, I think that is stupid too. Again, like basically after September attacks, but even more approval. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say is that China, it would make sense for them to do this, to go after Taiwan, because it would put it would get people excited for something and then kind of take their minds away from the economic situation. China's economy, I mean, could be collapsing, and then their last effort is going to try to go after Taiwan to put their minds to something else. Oh yeah, this is the other thing that's going on through China. So it says China hits Taiwan with trade restrictions after Pelosi's visit. China suspended some trade with Taiwan in apparent retribution for the visit by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Curbs include the suspension of some fruits and fish imports from Taiwan and exports of natural sand. So they're no longer importing fruits or fish from Taiwan, and they are no longer exporting natural sand to the island. China is Taiwan's largest trading partner with bilateral trade worth more than $273 billion, accounting for 33% of the island's total trade with the rest of the world. Holy shit. Let me look up what Taiwan's trade is. Taiwan trade partners, market overview, trade.gov. The United States and Taiwan have long-standing and vibrant trade relationship. In 2020, the United States and Taiwan transacted $106 billion, composed of 39.4 billion in exports, 66 billion in imports, so resulting in a goods and services trade deficit with Taiwan of $27.3 billion. The United States is Taiwan's second largest trading partner, accounting for 13.2% of total trade and 11.5% of Taiwan's imports. China is Taiwan's largest trading partner, accounting for 26.3% of total trade and 22.2% of Taiwan's imports in 2020. Can I get like a estimate of 2019? Because I feel like 2020 isn't exactly the best year to kind of be getting these numbers from. Maybe 2021 could be a good year. Taiwan exported $447 billion worth of goods around the globe, gaining 41.8% since 2017, and accelerating by 29.1% from 2020 to 2021. Okay, so here it is. So here's 2021 numbers. 126 billion. These are exports. 126.2 billion, or 28.2% of Taiwan's total exports went to China. 65.9 billion went to the United States. 63.1 went to Hong Kong. 29.3 went to Japan. 25.8 went to Singapore. 20.2 went to South Korea. 14 went to Vietnam. 13.4 went to Malaysia. 8.2 went to Germany, and 8.1 went to the Netherlands. So, I mean, that could. I mean, if China is kind of doing this, I mean, that wouldn't that invoke a better trade relationship between the United States and Taiwan? Chinese Taipei. What this is the OEC? Hang on, what is this from? Who's the certificate? Who the hell is the OEC? Organization of Economic Cooperation? OEC. This, I swear to God, I'm gonna cry. The Observatory of Economic Complexity, and they call it Chinese Taipei. Whatever. Whatever. Okay, I can't even look at your fucking data. Are you kidding me? 2020 Chinese I'm gonna call it Taiwan. In 2020, Taiwan was the number 0 economy in the world in terms of GDP. Was number 0. What? Chinese. Okay, so here's their exports. Some more exports. So integrated circuits, 138 billion. Office machine parts, 16.1. Computers, 10.9. Blank audio media, 9.2. Broadcasting equipment, 8. Exporting mostly to China, 104 billion. 54 billion to the United States. 50 billion to Hong Kong, 24.9 to Singapore, and Japan to 24.3. And then imports are integrated circuits, crude petroleum, photo lab equipment, machine having individual functions. So OEC, let me look. So China imports. What about the United States imports? I want to see what the United States economy is doing. What is this specifically? Exports. U.S. exports are refined petroleum, crude petroleum, cars, integrated circuits, petroleum gas, exporting mostly to Canada, Mexico, China, Japan, and Germany. Uncle Joe has completed 90% of his life, and she could be deemed incapable. Never talked about Japan and South Korea's involvement. What do you think? What is their involvement? I haven't heard anything from their involvement. And China's planned military exercise near Japan, near Taiwan, may have another target, which is Japan. Abe's killing exposes Japan's thin line between church and state. Yeah, like the only thing, like, I mean, if you look at where the like 2 of those military exercises are taking place, you can actually see that they also somewhat surround a few of the islands, and they are definitely right up next to the contested islands between Japan and China. So we could see some sort of military response from Japan. And they're probably in contact with the United States saying, hey, um, China's threatening our sovereignty. What are you going to do? There has to be some sort of military response from the United States. Global Times. We're going to put this on the New York Times. That way you guys can see. Here's a picture of Pelosi and Tsai Ing-wen. I watched that this yesterday. And then, so here are the military exercises that are taking place. So this one right here is taking place about no, this one right here, less than 10 miles from the Taiwanese coast. They are going to get extremely close. And then, so what I'm thinking is going to happen is that there might be some sort of naval response from the Taiwanese. China sends an economic message. The flight path is a clear indication that the possibility of military conflict between the United States and China is all too real in the South China Sea, where China has built up its military presence with in recent years. Lloyd Austin warned China against provocative and destabilizing activity near Taiwan. Yeah, and this is basically what she did. She flew from Kuala Lumpur all the way through Indonesia, around the Philippines, and then went up toward Taiwan like this. And the reason they did that is because if they flew in like this, China has fighters all over this area right here, over the Spratly Islands and all these islands that they're just making out of sand, which is a really bad idea because then we can just bomb the hell out of it and then just render it useless. Just gonna just flood it. This is America's fight. Europe largely stays out of the fray on Pelosi's trip. Lake Mead remains. Oh yeah, they keep finding bodies in Lake Mead because of how much it's draining. What's your opinion on the whole China is a paper tiger stuff? I think it's true because China literally always just says like, "Oh, we're gonna, you're gonna regret this. You're gonna regret this," and then like they literally like don't do anything. So it's it's just a matter of how strong will this response be? China's a bluffer, but so is Biden. That's why Trump should have stayed. Oh well. Oh, and lower gas prices. I still think that there would have been higher gas prices under Trump. It would just been shifting the blame toward him. I feel like he could have done something, stopping all the oil drilling, everything like that. Maybe it would have still been pretty high. Maybe there would have been like a 25-cent difference. 25 50 cent difference 50-cent difference maximum. So I don't know. So Fujian, let's see if there's any news out of Fujian. There's a Chinese military vehicle with the letter Z on it in Fujian. You know, it's funny that that's the that's the thing about China doing these freaking military drills so close to to the Taiwanese coast. If they're literally saying they're doing a training exercise over the reunification of Taiwan, they're literally giving Taiwan pointers and they'll know how to defend them. They'll probably be a little different and Taiwan is prepared for that eventuality, but that's so stupid. Like if they're going to invade, they need to invade now. They don't need to sit there and give Taiwan freaking pointers on how to defend Taiwan. Like China is just making their strategic mistakes even worse. MBS, what is that again? Oh, never mind. I know who MBS is. So it's stupid that China, like China, they're so dumb, man. They are so dumb. They're gonna make the same mistake that the Russians did. Just had someone messaging me on Discord and said we should side with Russia. Okay. We're already in a technical recession of the past quarters are negative, which is the technical recession definition. Yes. And I actually kind of met like someone actually helped me understand this. He basically said that you won't really know whether you're in an actual recession until the next year. So the way accounting works, when the accounting year is over, which is 1/1 of the next year, that's whenever you know you're in a recession. So yes, we are in a technical recession by definition, but we are not exactly in a recession until the accounting year is over. This guy's literally just messaging me saying, "Why are you brainwashed?" Because I'm sending him a stand with the people of Ukraine gif. Debate me, boy. Fight me. Like, he's literally just calling the Ukrainians Nazis. People who literally think that Ukraine is full of Nazis, you're stupid. Okay, I won't use the word stupid. I'll say that you're ignorant. Oh my god, they're full of Nazis. Like, because I don't know anything else about foreign politics. Your overconfidence PG will be your undoing. Isn't overconfidence sometimes good? Better goal. Don't destroy Russia, destroy Putin. I mean, yes, I do support Russia because he's my enemy. Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But all I'm saying was that the US should do. So you said, oh yeah, you side more with Putin than you do with the United States. God, these planes are making some of the weirdest moves right now in the air. Yeah, like these planes are literally zigzagging around some of the areas that are supposedly having military exercises. And it's kind of weird. Are they dogfighting? No. Yeah, I have direct. What is this? NATO. There's a. There's literally just an E3 century plane in the air right now, and people are watching it. It's called NATO 40, and it's not even over anything important right now. It's literally like, it just took off from northern Germany, north of Bremerhaven, and then that's west of Hamburg, and it just flew over Munster, literally circled Eindhoven in the Netherlands, and then now it's heading back into Germany, heading kind of like it's probably going to pass like right in between Dusseldorf and Cologne. So it must yeah, landed. So it just took off from Eindhoven and it's heading toward Ukraine, I think. Or I mean it could be heading toward Taiwan. Me and my Egyptian friend just call the region the Kemetic province of Judea Palestine. I'm watching this also in Iraqi Airways, and it just like it's like partially it's pretty damn close to the war in Ukraine right now. Like this is the closest plane, like you can literally see that the airspace all around this area between Russia and Ukraine is just closed off. There's no one in it, and it's just one Iraqi Airways plane. Babylonian Airwaves. Yeah, I keep saying airwaves. What a Chad. He's just flying literal doesn't even care about the war. What a Chad. And then now there's a Fly One plane that's literally heading straight toward Ukraine in Moldova. Pretty sure it's not. It's probably heading toward Transnistria. Tiraspol. Babylonian Chads in unexpected places. My favorite one was where it was right when the war started, and it was Air India. It was like an Indian Airways plane that was heading straight. It was like all of this closed off airspace, and then there was just one uh, plane. It was like Air India that was just making a fucking beeline toward Ukraine. That was one of the best ones. What's happening? Nothing too much. Nothing too much. We have military exercises taking place surrounding Taiwan. There is a somewhat uh, possible blockade that is underway in Taiwan. So military drills circling Taiwan set up a potential standoff. Economic sanctions have come under the PRC, People's Republic of the China, People's Republic of the China, People's Republic of China. Oh, shit's the invasion. 2 hours. Go to sleep. PG. You need it. That's why I got sleep yesterday. I got sleep. I slept all day yesterday. Are we going to war? No. Not yet. Essentially, what this is that it is the Taiwan Strait crisis. No one has dinged it yet, but it depends on the U.S. response, which will make it the Taiwan Strait crisis. See if there are any updates from the Global Times. Oh shit! The invasion in 2 hours. Go to sleep. You are a Chinese agent. You are a Chinese agent. We watch you. We know who you are. Can Chinese nukes reach New York City? Yes. Yeah, they can. Can they though? They'll probably be off by like 100 miles. Well, I'm still looking at this. Someone literally just flew from Tennessee all the way over to North Texas in a Cessna 177 RG Cardinal. That is a long flight. Didn't know if you could zoom in on this website and you can literally watch. There's a plane called Blocked. Yes, Blocked. Someone doesn't want to know. If we go to war, would we win? Um, Fun fact: all nuclear powers can reach Mexico City. Come on. See, that's what gets me about everyone that is worried about a war between the United States and China. No one would be using nukes. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate that. No one would be using nukes. However, there is a chance that tactical nuclear weapons could be used, such as EMPs, such as any sort of. It would take a very special scenario for a nuclear weapon to be used, but they would not be used against cities. They would not be used against any sort of civilian targets. Civilians probably would be getting caught in the mix and a crossfire of these nuclear weapons, but there would be no full fledged Fallout scenario nuclear war. Because, for one, China needs decades to build up their nuclear weapons to even compete with the United States. Any sort of scenario in which there is a nuclear war between the United States and China, the Chinese would lose. That we would shoot down more missiles from them than they could with us, because our missile defense, we have missile defense. They would shoot down maybe 5-10% of our missiles. We would shoot down 60 to 80% of their missiles. They only have like 2 to 400 nukes, and I'm pretty sure half of them would be destroyed but by the time they even get off the ground. The other 25% probably wouldn't even launch. And so and then our retaliation, in most, I'm pretty sure they would lose maybe a couple 100 million people. We would lose 5 to 10 million at most. So it would be a hell of a day to live through, but any sort of nuclear exchange between the United States and China would be disastrous for China. Yeah, there would be no winners because technically both sides are losing so too much to even handle. But militarily, it would be a catastrophe on both sides, but especially for China. Hemp bombings? What is that? That's a drug dealer kind of flight, man, not gonna lie. Yeah, I know. So Fujian. So let's look at Taiwan again. Any news coming out of Taiwan? Oh, hemp. Okay. Um, you're talking about a high electromagnetic pulse. High altitude electromagnetic pulse. So that's what you meant. Hemp. There it is. Well, high altitude electromagnetic pulses are basically just to fry all of the electronics that are in the area. The United States tried it um, back in the 50s and 60s. The most famous of which was called Starfish Prime. Starfish Prime actually was knocked out traffic lights and other lights in Honolulu. It would be a complete violation of the nuclear test ban treaty. It would be a total violation of literally every single nuclear treaty that we have. The outer space treaty would have been violated by China. So if the Chinese and that's the thing, the United States would not use nuclear weapons first unless something were to have been detected or a nuclear weapon were to have been used. The United States is not the country. We have used nuclear weapons twice in our um we have used nuclear weapons twice in our time of having them. But we would never use them against anyone first unless it was absolutely to end the war. Because that's the only reason we used them last time. It was to end the war against Japan, to save millions of more people. Would North Korea and Russia join the side of China? Depends. I mean, North Korea would get swamped. USA is the only country to use it on innocent civilians who had nothing to do with the war, so that's so sick. Nuh-uh, come on, come on, come on. No. No, that is not. So yeah, it was used against civilians. Those were also pretty high military targets. So the thing about Yetin the what? Huh. Um okay, so if you know anything about World War II, if you know anything about World War II, you will know that the United States was planning on a massive invasion of Japan. So was the Soviet Union. At the same time that the Americans would invade, the Soviets would have the opportunity to send a landing force into northern Japan. They probably would have taken Hokkaido, which is the northernmost island of Japan. If that were to have happened, we would have been seeing some sort of Cold War split between the Soviet Union and Japan and the United States over Japan, which would have been a lot worse culturally for Japan. It would have decimated their culture. So the fact that they got out of World War II without being split up was amazing. So if we were to have gone ahead with, it was called Operation Overlord. No, it wasn't Overlord. Yeah, sure. It was Operation Downfall. Operation Downfall was the planned invasion of the main Japanese islands by the United States and United Kingdom. The amount of troops that we had ready to invade Japan on the United States on the Allied side was around 5 to 7 million. Japan was conscripting and preparing their entire civilian population that could pick up a stick or a broom or anything to fight the Americans. This invasion would have costed at least over 1 million men on the Allied side and 10 million on the Japanese side. It would have decimated their population. Plus, and this is only if the nuclear bombings didn't work. Plus, if the if that that if the invasion went through, our plan was to bomb a city with one nuclear weapon, invade it, take it, wipe out any resistance, move on to the next city, and then hit them with another nuclear weapon, and then wash and repeat. So we would have been losing troops to radiation. We would have been losing thousands of troops every 10 minutes. And it would have made D-Day look like a cakewalk. There would have been no surrender, no peace, and that we would have been dealing with a guerrilla insurgency that would have made Vietnam look like a walk in the park. So, if you seriously think that the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were, they were awful. Yeah, there was over 200,000 dead in the flash of a second on both sides of the bombing. But I would take that over any sort of scenario in which we invaded the Japanese mainland, because there would have been what the United States lost like 400,000 people in World War II. We would have doubled or tripled that. The amount of people that the United States lost, we would have doubled or tripled it with an invasion of Japan. Look at that. I'm talking about the freaking talking about freaking we're talking about the situation in Taiwan, and I'm sitting here talking about the invasion of Japan. I mean, it's pretty relevant. Now, uh, Wikipedia posted an article. It says Nancy Pelosi's Taiwan visit to the PLA is placed on high alert and says it will launch targeted military operations. Is Pelosi still there? No, she left. I think she's in South Korea now. She's going to go to South Korea, and then she's going to go to Japan, and then she's going to head home. What is China threatening to do? Well, they're already announcing and conducting military exercises surrounding Taiwan. Glad she didn't cave to the Chinese pressure. So am I. I'm very glad that that Pelosi went. The White House did not officially support the visit. Freaking stupid. She visited the Legislative Yuan and met with Tsai Ing-wen the following day. I saw that meeting. You think China will ever become democratic PG in the future? No, not under, of course, not under them. Um, Under the unified China that we see, I don't think they would be a democracy. With Xinjiang and Tibet, they would probably secede from any sort of scenario which the Chinese with the CCP collapses. What does China want? Really, I don't get why humans are so stingy. Here it is. In response to Pelosi landing in Taipei on the night of August 2nd, the PLA Eastern Theater Command began joint naval and Air Force exercises in the areas north, southwest, and southeast of the island, long distance live fire artillery shooting in the Taiwan Strait, and conventional headed missile test firings in waters east of Taiwan. In addition, the PRC announced that they will conduct military drills in the areas encircling Taiwan from August 4th to August 2nd. So 4, 5, 6, 7. That's about a 3-day technical blockade of Taiwan because they're doing it in the areas in which most of their ships come out of. But they have land. Why do they need an island? Well, if you look at where Taiwan is, so Taiwan strategically, and this is the whole reason why the United States has protected them, it's probably changed the reasoning. It's always about democracy or whatever, but in reality, it's more of a strategic geopolitical move because if you allow China to get into what they call the first island chain is a set of islands in which it kind of gives you access to the Pacific Ocean. There is no official access that China has to the Pacific Ocean until they take Taiwan. Taiwan would be the doorway into places like Japan, the Philippines. They would have full control over the largest trade route in the world through the Taiwan Strait. Look at this. Look at it this way. I fell. Someone stole my phone. Whose phone is it? Not really. I fell because that's how China lost it. It was never owned by the PRC in the first place. That's the thing. That is what I'm saying. But you literally said it's your phone. Someone stole my phone. PRC fell. The CCP came up and stole the phone, being the land. Uh, uh, See, I wouldn't use that sort of analogy. United States Taiwan Defense Command. Oh, so apparently in 1958 we had almost 20,000 troops stationed in Taiwan, and then throughout the 60s we had like almost 10,000. And then between 74 and 78, so right after 72, we just really started to draw our troops down. Corbin Palikarn in chat, let's go. Corbin, what's your thoughts on the visit? President Carter's mistake. It wasn't Carter, um it wasn't Carter, it was Nixon. Because Nixon was the one that opened up the diplomatic relations with China, and then it ended up causing um like he made an agreement with them saying like, okay, we'll get out of Taiwan, we'll kind of leave that to y'all. Reignited clashes in the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region between Armenia and Azerbaijan, kills 3 soldiers and wounds 14 others. So apparently there's border clashes right now in the Nagorno-Karabakh region. Russia has peacekeepers all over the Artsakh region. The dependence on the Chinese economy. Don't care really. The PRC is recognized globally as China. Nobody recognizes Taiwan as independent. There isn't going to be a war anytime soon. China has the diplomatic upper hand. Yeah, they have the diplomatic upper hand only if they don't invade. Because everyone even says it that they support um, resolution by peaceful means. But if they go in and then just start shooting, they're not gonna have they're not gonna really have the best support essentially. Ah, damn it. World, Asia Pacific. Taiwan expects increased psychological warfare after Pelosi visits. Taiwan pledged on Wednesday to step up security against possible disruptions by overseas forces, including cyber attacks, as tensions with China rise following the visit of the self-rule island by Pelosi. Just preserving the status quo, which is currently sits in favor of the PRC. Yeah, I agree. Not too much going on really today. It's probably because it's only nighttime. Looks like Pelosi. No, I already read that. Insert a paper. Russia accuses Azerbaijan of breaking the Karabakh ceasefire. It's funny because Russia actually supports them. Apparently, apparently Trump met with the Prime Minister of Hungary. Azerbaijan says it took control of several strategic heights in the Karabakh region. Oh yeah, Russia now has a choice if Armenia and Azerbaijan go to war again. U.S. warships cruising near Taiwan as Pelosi visits. This was 7 hours ago. Insert a paper. To Ronald Reagan is accompanied by the USS Higgins. So let me see if there's any news from the USS Ronald Reagan. Fleet and Marine Tracker. Total battle force. 300. 111 deployed, including the USS 73. Or USNS, okay. So what is this? Marine Tracker. So the USS Sasebo is in Japan. The USS America is in port in Sasebo. The USS Abraham Lincoln is also at port. USS Tripoli is near Okinawa. And then the Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group is kind of close to Taiwan and the Philippines in the Philippine Sea, according to this source. Strike Group got underway from Singapore on July 26, sailed through the South China Sea, and is now in the Philippine Sea. Vessel Finder. Free AIS. So let me look. Maximo, I'll see you. I'm going to go off for a bit. All right, see you, man. Kosovo versus Serbia. Serbia wouldn't do anything, honestly, because Serbia knows that if they were to go to war against Kosovo, it would draw NATO into the conflict. So there are military. See, the thing is, so there are just two. So, okay, so there's a Taiwanese Coast Guard that I can see. And then I can see Chinese Coast Guard right here. This is what I'm looking at, by the way. So I think you can also see the rim pack exercises right here. No. Satellite AIS. Passengers. Yachts. Other unknown. Other type and auxiliary. Cargo. Let's put them all back on. All right. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream for right now. I'm gonna go work on a couple other videos that I have working on, sitting on the back burner for you guys. Finally, I got some information about the world warfare and economic. So I know you guys have been waiting eagerly for news on that. Says China warns airlines to avoid areas near Taiwan as it conducts military exercises in response to Pelosi's visit to the island. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching this with me. Thank you guys for participating in this live stream. Pretty good amount of people that we got watching these streams now. So I need to stream more often. I have not been streaming that often. So guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys. Hit my mic. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and take